Today, we're going to have some fun. This is what 105 CDs from Goodwill looks like. Let's have some fun, take our time, and go through them, shall we? Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on my channel. This is my first video that I'm recording in 2023, and it's not a reaction. If you're unfamiliar with my channel and you just came across this video, know that normally on my channel I do album reactions and a few other fun things. This year I might be trying to do some new, different things for my channel, maybe doing some individual songs. I am already planning to do reactions to the new Metallica album, the new Depeche Mode album, new And One, new In Flames, all sorts of new awesome things that are going to be coming out. New Arcs actually later this year, Dan Auerbach's band. But if any of that sounds interesting, make sure you come back to the channel, look around, whatever, over the coming year. If you want to, you can subscribe, but I'm not going to ask you to do that if you don't want to. And like the video, whatever, all that good YouTube stuff. But so yeah, for this video, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time doing other things because we got a lot of stuff to go through. So pretty much let's just get into it. One thing I do have to mention right off the bat, you'll notice here my arm is in a sling. If you watched my top 12 albums of the year video that I've recorded with my friend Chris Parker at the end of 2022, you will know that I had injured my arm, torn my bicep in December of last year. On December 9th, actually, I tore it, and on December 23rd, I had to have surgery. So I had surgery. I'm still recovering. Today's date is actually, I'm not actually sure what it is. Hey, Google, what is today's date?
It's Wednesday, January 11th, 2023.
Wednesday, the 11th of January. So I just had my 2-week appointment on Friday last week, and I have to wear the sling and just basically be careful with my arm for the next month and a half or so, which is kind of a bummer. However, I will say I have pretty much complete full use of my arm, and I can, do things with it. So it's not going to be a big hindrance in this video, at least I hope not. I'm just not supposed to push or pull anything with my left arm, and I'm not supposed to hold anything super heavy. Like, I don't think I could carry all these CDs if they were in one sack, for example. But for the most part, I have lots of movement, so shouldn't be a big hindrance, but I'm going to wear it throughout the video anyway, just because I'm supposed to keep it on when I can to not do anything stupid. So I did have to have surgery, for those of you who are subscribed and follow my channel. It was a pretty rough December for me, but it was really fun doing the top 12 albums of 2022 videos, and if you want to go check that out, please feel free to do so. On my list was, we had Poets of the Fall, White Lies, Mook, awesome Japanese metal band. We had Bloodywood, Rack Shack by Bloodywood, A Legion, awesome Colorado, very hardcore metal band. We had all sorts of really awesome stuff that I was very excited to talk about. So if that sounds interesting to you and you enjoyed some music from last year, at least head over to those videos. It was a 2-part. We filmed it in 2 parts. Head over to one of those videos and leave in the comments what your favorite albums were. But if you're here watching this, you probably are interested in all these CDs here in front of me. So yes, this is 105 CDs. I counted it twice before I checked out at Goodwill, and the lady actually just charged me for 100 of them, which was pretty awesome, so I got 5 of them for free. Now, I know that Goodwills around the United States have their prices sort of individually priced per store, so I'm extremely lucky that the Goodwill that's closest to me, where I do most of my shopping, is actually, the price of CDs is 59 cents. I know my cousin, who I talk about sometimes on this channel, he does really good with finding things at Goodwill and thrift stores as well, something that I love to do, and at his Goodwill, I believe it's $1.99 for CDs. So this 100 CDs here, we'll just say 100 for now since that's what I got charged. These 100 CDs cost me $59. If they were each $2, of course, it would have cost me $200. So I would have never taken a chance on this number of CDs at a different Goodwill. But I'm very lucky that my Goodwill in Fremont, Nebraska is only 59 cents per CD. So the other thing I have to mention about this right away is that all of these CDs they all have these like little stickers on them. Oh boy. Oh, that's a weird looking CD because it's so they have these stickers on them and then this sticker on them, and it's kind of hard to tell, but the discs are all going to have, well, this one doesn't actually have it, but a lot of the discs have like tape of it. So these are all library copies of CDs that were just, I assume, donated to the library or donated to Goodwill from the library in Fremont, Nebraska. Now, there is a used bookstore in Fremont, Nebraska, where it's actually kind of weird. It's like a drive-through liquor place, but they have just a giant wall in this garage that's filled with books. And the library used to donate their CDs there, but for some reason, I don't know how all these ended up at the Goodwill. I would assume the library just donated them, but I believe 90% of these, if not all of them, are CDs like that have these specific stickers on them, which is a bit of a bummer to me because I liked my CD collection, which is a vast collection of CDs, I like all the CDs to be in as good a condition as possible within reason, and I don't mind it if CDs get scuffs and things on the cases because I'm taking them places and listening to them, which is what I've done for many, many years with a lot of the CDs in my collection. But I like to have like regular cases, like for example, this is kind of a bad one because it looks like it's glaring, but that's because that's the image on there. But a lot of the CDs are going to be in this kind of a plastic case. And it has all of the artwork in it, but it's just a very thin plastic case. And so, kind of a bummer, but you know, I could always take the CDs out of here, and if I had, you know, some spare cases or whatever, if I find any that are really important to me, I may go through and put them in a regular CD case that's more like this, a regular plastic CD case. However, a lot of them are in this sort of smaller, you know, I assume it was easier to stack them on a shelf like this. They take up half as much room as one of these CDs. So, wanted to get that out of the way. These are all library CDs. The condition of them is the discs. The condition of the discs should be perfect for all of them because I know that they did clean them at the library. I was not a member of the library because I live far enough away from Fremont that I would have to pay actually fees because I don't live within the library district, and it's far enough away that I probably wouldn't have ever rented anything anyway. Maybe I guess a book or whatever. Rent, borrow, whatever. So that's the story of these CDs here. And what I'm going to do in this video, I plan to try to maybe film 2 videos for this pile here. I want to just go through, look through the CDs, and kind of just see what I bought. I've barely paid attention when I was at Goodwill, and I just put everything in my cart. And I went through and I counted them at the end, and I freaked out a little bit when I got to 70, and I still had like another 30, 40 discs in my cart. And so I created a stack of stuff that I didn't really care about as much, or stuff that I already owned that I was just going to purchase to have a second copy of. Like, for example, sitting right on the top here, this Ellie Goulding CD. I already own this CD, but it's a fantastic album, and it's never bad, in my opinion, to have an extra copy of something, or a copy that I could give to someone. So I think that that's kind of a really cool thing. But so I did put maybe a stack of 10 or so back, but for the most part, I bought everything that I saw, and I did look at everything in the store and make the conscious decision to purchase it. However, I just glanced at it, and I was like, oh, the band is called Or, it looks like. I have no idea who they are. It looks like a rock band. There's a tree on the back. Whatever. For 59 cents, that's fine. This Philip Phillips, don't know who this guy is. He's got a guitar case back there. It's not a saxophone case, which is my least favorite instrument. So there's probably some guitar. Looks like a human being, probably singing in, like, I don't know, I would assume English, but even if it wasn't, I would love it just as much, maybe even more if it wasn't in English. So I just kind of went through and purchased anything that I could find. And there was a little old lady with an incredibly bent back there looking through the CDs as well, and I was helping her look through everything to see if we could find any gospel. But for me, thankfully, there was no gospel, so I didn't have to really worry about that. You know, I did help her find one Christmas CD, but she was kind of disappointed because Christmas was already over. Anyway, we were looking through the CDs, and I took all 105 of these. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm just going to go through, look through everything, and then I have a second video planned maybe where I'm going to go through and pick out, 30 seems like way too much to me, but I'm going to create like a stack off to the side where I have things that are interesting looking that I maybe want to do a bit of a reaction to. So I'm planning to film a second video where I go through and just like listen to maybe 10, maybe 20. I don't know if that's impossible to do. That seems like it'd be a lot, but just listen to like maybe a few samples of things off of some of these discs. And I would try to film it in such a way using what I'm using right now, which is Streamlabs, to do this, and try to do it in such a way that you would be able to listen along with me. So we'll see what happens, but that's a separate video that I will explain in that video. So for now, I need a little bit of room here. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do all of this. I think I'm just going to move some stuff over. I need to obviously have it so that you guys can see me. Let's see here. That can go over there just for now. I'm just going to move things for just a second. I did want to show two other things that I purchased at Goodwill yesterday along with all of this. One of them is this sweet Godzilla toy here, which if you're familiar with Godzilla, I'm a big Godzilla fan. This is the Godzilla from the 70s, the sort of very friendly Godzilla. A lot of people don't like this era of Godzilla who are Godzilla fans because it's way less serious. This is where we got like Manila, Godzilla's son or whatever it was. But some of my favorite Godzilla movies are from this era of Godzilla, like Godzilla vs. Megalon, for example, Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. A lot of really good Godzilla movies that are classics to me from my childhood, but definitely not very serious Godzilla movies. But this was just there, and it's actually really sweet. I already own this action figure or toy or whatever you want to call it, and I have it in my room with my other collection of Godzilla stuff. But this was really cool to see and find, and so I think I'm probably going to give it to my nephew. And his tail was actually coming off, and there's actually a, I don't know if you can hear it rattling, there's actually a yellow traffic cone toy in there somewhere inside of him, but I thought that was pretty cool. It was $1, I believe, so that was really cool. And then the other thing I bought, which I couldn't actually believe, is this. I bought a pop filter for a microphone. Now, this wouldn't really be very useful for this microphone in this setup the way I have this, which I guess I can take this opportunity to also say that with this video, I'm trying something a little bit different. Normally, I make sure that I have the furnace, which is just behind me in the wall behind me here, on the other side of the wall. Normally, I make sure the furnace is off, that everything in the rest of the house is quiet. But for this video, I'm just going to let everything else make noise. People that I live with make noise, whatever. The furnace, if it kicks on, kicks off. If we have washing machine, dishwasher, whatever, gets started or whatever, I'm just going to let everything run. So I apologize if someone's listening to on headphones and there's like a bit of a noise in the background that kicks on, kicks off. Normally I would be very strict about having my audio sound as good as possible because I am an audio engineer. But in this case, for this video, I'm just going to let it be fun, and I'm not going to worry about those things, and I didn't want to bother the rest of the people in the house with that. So with that said, let's start going through some of these CDs. But first, I definitely want to make sure that you guys can see me. So I'm going to go through and make 2 stacks over here off to the side. And that can save up some room. Okay, that's cool there. This stack I will take and push over here, hopefully out of range of the camera. Maybe. There we go. There we go. So now we have a somewhat more manageable portion of CDs. So again, like I said, I'm not planning to listen to anything in this video, just kind of go over everything and see what I got. So I don't really have too much of how I'm going to do this planned out. I definitely plan on, showing you the artwork, maybe reading a little bit of the back, seeing what's going on. So let's just start and see how this video goes. First thing that I'm looking at here, one good thing about these stickers on here, I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but it says CD rock. So that's the genre that it was organized in, and it's this Taiko, I believe is how you would pronounce that, and I believe that that's the artist's name by last name first. If I look at this next one, it says CD Rock Clarkson, and because the person whose face that is Kelly Clarkson, that's a Kelly Clarkson CD. So I assume that this is Tycho. Now I have no idea who Tycho is. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks on here, which is actually not very long, very much at all. That's a very short album. And it does actually have the lengths of the album listed as well. Here's the inside. Got some cool artwork in there. But the songs are 3.5 minutes, 4:19, 3:19, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3:50, 4:15. So a pretty short album, actually. Oh, this is on Ninja Tune. See, this is on Ninja Tune Records, which is really interesting because Ninja Tune is, I believe, a British record label that does... I know the Heavy is on that record label, plus there's like the Bonobo Street Band, I believe. It's very much like horns, hip-hop beats, usually very sort of like dirty sounding stuff. Not dirty like filthy, but like gritty style of production, a little bit throwback sounding. So that's actually really cool. This actually now, it's from 2019 as well. So this actually just jumped up to my, I'm excited to listen to this. The disc is not worth really mentioning, but okay, so that's cool. Tycho, don't know who that is, but because it's on Ninja Tune, that will go in a stack. We'll just put over here. That will go in my stack to keep an eye on. So then we have Kelly Clarkson. This is Kelly Clarkson, Piece by Piece. This is her album from... let's see, 2015. I have the first 2 Kelly Clarkson albums. Really enjoyed her first album a lot, and I recently went back and listened to it, and it sounds like garbage. The mix is terrible. The master is even worse than the mix. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kelly Clarkson, I have a couple of her albums. Now I have another one. This is an example of another case, the kind of case that they have at the library, which I don't particularly care for. But again, all of the artwork is there. Wow, that's actually really cool. If you can see that, that's very awesome. But all the artwork is there. The disc is there. Let's check and see here. The disc looks completely pristine for the most part. So very cool. But that just goes in the sort of generic pile, I guess. I should have figured out a better way to organize these, but okay. Okay, so now here we have a band that looks like some younger dudes. They look a little bit intimidating. I have no idea what they would sound like. This is a band called The Feeling. Interesting cover, bit 80s. On the back, it's their silhouettes when they're live or just standing in front of a projection of them live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tracks. This is from 2007, so this would have been when the year that I graduated from college. What's the record label? Empire Records, Island Records. Empire, I assume, would be the father. Or Universal Music. Okay, Universal. So I'm not sure what they do. This looks kind of interesting. I would think maybe they sound something kind of like Interpol, maybe? Kind of like a post-grunge, post-punk type of thing. I like the imagery. They have a guy that plays this cool-looking piano there. So that's actually kind of neat. That's an actual upright piano that they have live that I assume is mic'd. Recorded in London, so they're a British band. So, okay. All right, that's actually kind of interesting to me. So that will go in the interesting pile. Actually, that'll go in the interesting, but I'm not too sure pile. We'll do that. Now, I don't know how we're going to do this, but okay. Next, we have what appears to be Spirit Animal. It's labeled as rock. And let's see here. Love the artwork on this. Love, love, love the artwork on this. It says disc made in Mexico. It's a regular CD case, which helps me appreciate it. This is from 2018. The songs are listed in a circle, which I always hate. Track 1 is Yeah, Karma, Regular World, Survival, JFK, Big Bad Road Dog, Painkiller, The Truth, House of Fire, World War something. There's a sticker there, I assume World War II. And Best Friends, track 11. So this is kind of interesting. And just looking at the artwork, I really like it. It's on Atlantic Records. We have vocals, guitar, bass, drums as the the different members of the band. Really love the artwork here. Very cool. The lyrics are all written in there. Looks cool. Have no clue what it would sound like. Maybe something kind of like The Hives or something like that. So that's Spirit Animal. That'll go in the pile that's interesting. Now we have Steve Perry Traces, 2015. Now Steve Perry is, I believe, the singer from Journey, which is pretty cool because I actually do enjoy Journey quite a bit. I don't like a lot of classic rock bands, but I really do enjoy Journey. So, very cool. However, I can kind of guess what that's going to sound like. It would be neat if it was a little bit more sort of like modern metal, modern prog metal, which definitely Steve Perry could do that. Steve Perry's not my favorite part of Journey. I actually really like the music of Journey a lot more than the vocals, than the voice. I don't really care for a super high-pitched male vocalists, and that's why I have a lot of problems with it. Basically any hair metal or a lot of classic rock, things like Rush, Led Zeppelin, I just cannot do. And the reason for that is the vocals. So we'll see. This is on Fantasy Records, it looks like, so that's kind of cool. Definitely a neat CD, something that I'm aware of the people, at least, in it, but that goes in the I'll get to it when I get to it pile. Now, complete same exact vibe, Robert Plant, who I believe is the guitarist for somebody. Not too sure, but I know Robert Plant from his 2 albums that he did with Alison Krauss that are actually really cool. So this being a solo album of his could sound a little bit like that, but it also could be, I know he was the famous, very famous guitar player for some classic rock band. But really neat looking artwork. I don't know, the year is 2005, so the year I graduated high school. Mighty Rearranger is the name of the album. Oh no, Robert Plant and the Strange Sensation, Mighty Rearranger. Kind of interesting. Robert Plant, not my favorite person in the world musically, though, I mean, you know, whatever, so, but that goes in the I'll get to it pile. Now we have someone, Ingrid Michaelson. Heard her name. I assume her music is generic acoustic guitar-based pop music. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. I'm not too sure. This was one I was going to put away, but I enjoy the artwork. There's 12 tracks. It's from 2009. I really do like the artwork. It's actually really cool. I wasn't going to keep this one. I was going to put it back. However, I know later on in my pile, I don't know if it's in this pile, but somewhere else I found a different Ingrid Michaelson album, and I think it's a more recent one, and her name is listed in like the exact Stranger Things font. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. I don't know how they could have done that. How could she have gotten away with that without getting sued over using the exact Stranger Things like red font with the line across, the very 80s looking kind of glowing font? So I thought, well, maybe she had some connection to the show. Maybe she makes like 80s pop music, sort of modern sounding 80s throwback pop music. And I'm totally wrong about her being like acoustic pop music. I don't know. But I don't know. So that's Ingrid Michaelson. That's going to go in the interesting, but maybe not necessarily have to listen to it right away. Hootie and the Blowfish, Imperfect Circle. So I'm familiar with Hootie and the Blowfish, but I don't know them very much. This is their 2019 album. Now, I know that Hootie and the Blowfish is a band that's more from like the 90s, maybe even into the 80s, I'm not sure. But a lot of people hate bands that were popular a decade or more ago, and they still are making music now. A lot of people just completely disregard. They only listen to music from a band's like heyday. That's not me, though. I really enjoy, in a lot of cases, the most modern music that a band has created is my favorite. One of my favorite examples of that is ZZ Top. I think ZZ Top's most recent like 5 albums are way better than anything that they did in the 70s or the 80s. And so I know that's kind of a controversial way to look at that, but that's how I look at a lot of bands. So this could be really cool. However, when I think of Hootie and the Blowfish, I think of probably like a horn section, 90s kind of like ska punky type of thing. Maybe that's totally wrong, but I think kind of like ska, which is one of my least favorite genres of music. That Hootie and the Blowfish can go in the I'll get to it when I get to it. Now here we have Or, which I have another Or CD right over here. This is the one I held up to the camera earlier. This is another Or album. This is Or, established 1996, or it's called XX. I assume that's... Oh, this might be live. Interesting. So this might be like a greatest hits. This is 2016. And this one is Or the Rockville LP. 2014. So this is 2014, 2016. And if you have an album that's called XX or Roman numeral 20, I assume it means you've been a band for 20 years. And this has a double 2-disc set. Let's see if both discs are in there. Yep, there's disc 1. There's disc 2. So that's pretty cool. I don't know anything about Or. In looking at them, they could be kind of a... I think that if they started 20 years before 1916, that would put them at 1996. The 90s is my least favorite genre, my least favorite decade of music, though I am starting to warm up to it. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking too much about these. Those are going to go into the I'll get to them when I... Well, those will go... Yeah, those will go in the I'll get to them when I get to them pile. Okay, this is The Good Parts, Andy Grammer. I have no clue what this is. It's in rock, but that looks like a cool album cover. I like the font. This could be kind of country-ish. It could be kind of throwback. It could be bluesy. It could just be generic like garage rock. But I like the way this looks. I think it's got potential. It's on BMG Records. There's a song on here called Grown Ass Man Child, which I'm not a big fan of. That kind of makes it sound a little silly. But who knows? Whatever. So this is cool. This is going on the listen to it pile. Then we have what I believe is a metal band. I'm pretty sure I've heard of them before. Oh, there's a second disc in here. That's kind of cool. This is Gamma Ray, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure that I've heard. This disc does have some scratches on it. But this is Gamma Ray. Land of the Free. 25 years of heavy metal from Hamburg, Germany. So, okay, so Gamma Ray from the 80s, I would assume, then. This is from 2017. Very interesting. Anniversary edition. Exquisitely remastered. 25 years of Gamma Ray. Studio album, original studio album, remastered. And then there's a bonus live CD of in-studio recordings and pre-production versions. So that's kind of cool. Plus there's some live stuff. So that's Gamma Ray. If it's a metal band from the 80s, I probably won't enjoy it that much, but really cool to have some history. This is actually kind of cool. So I'm going to put that in the cool, but I'm not necessarily going to listen to it section, but something to keep my eye on. Then we have Emma. Don't know who that is, but I know Emma from WWE. This is not her. This looks like pretty generic pop music. She's got some really high heels on back there, which is cool. Don't really care about that. But now, oh, okay. This could be country. She has a song called Crickets. Yeah, Who the Hell Are You? Something So Beautiful, Amazing. So this could be country. A multi-channel recording, especially engineered to reproduce the full album frequency range of the music. I should certainly hope so. This is from 2004. Not too sure what this is. I'm going to guess that it's generic pop music. It's called Free Me. This is going to go in the interesting... I do enjoy pop music, so this is going to go in the interesting section, but that's probably going to be pretty bland, pretty boring. Kind of forget about it. Mark Knopfler. I've heard of... this is rock. Do not like the artwork really at all. That's the back. We got 12 songs. I don't know anything. This is Warner Brothers. Mark Knopfler. I feel like I've heard of him, but I don't know. For some reason, when I hear the name Mark Knopfler, I'm thinking an older person, and I see the picture here. He looks a little older. So possibly a member of a band. This is Kill to Get Crimson. Kill to Get Crimson. I'm going to put this in the I'll get to it when eventually section. Here we have Lenny Kravitz from 2008. I don't know if there's any of his big songs on here. I don't think his big songs are from before that. But this is Lenny Kravitz. It's Time for a Love Revolution. That goes in the get to it when I get to it. Sheryl Crow. I enjoy Sheryl Crow, but I don't own any of her albums. Oh, Gary Clark Jr. is on here. What year is this from? It's from 2017. This actually could be kind of interesting. She did a song recently with Toby Mac that was really great. I like her song she did with Kid Rock. So I don't know. Produced by Sheryl Crow, Alone in the Dark. I'm going to put this in the interesting, but probably something that I won't really care about that much. Now we have Trixie Whitley or Whiteley. Very 80s looking photo there. If I had to say just looking at her, I would say it looks kind of German, but that might be, I don't know. It's called Porta Bohemica or Bohemica. 9 tracks, which is not very much. I can't read the label. Trixie Whiteley or Whitley. This is intriguing to me. Let's see if there's a book. There is a book. There you can see it without the cover without the... okay, mixed by blah, blah, blah. Album artwork. This album is dedicated to blah, blah, blah. Written, produced. We have vocals, bass, guitar, keys, drums, piano, vocals. Looks like there's some piano on everything. She does all the vocals. She also plays piano and guitar. Really interesting. This could be cool. I love the way this looks. It could be generic pop music, but I don't think so with all the real instruments that were listed in there. And she performs on all of them. So that goes in the definitely listen to. Then we have Katie Tunstall. Or Katie Tunstall. I wonder how... Will my... I don't know if it will. My camera will. This is Kin, I believe it's called. Very rockin' cover of her on there. Of course, Katie Tunstall, very famous for... what is it? A Big Black Horse and a Cherry Tree? But my heart's forsaken me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was when I was in high school. This, I assume, is significantly newer. 2016. I don't know what to expect from this. She became famous for having an acoustic guitar driven song. So I would assume that her music would be much more rooted in real acoustic instruments. But she also did have a big pop hit, so it could be more pop music, more electronic-y. However, I doubt it. And based on the artwork for this, it looks like it could be kind of like a cool rocker thing. I assume it kind of basically sound like her first album. At least the album that, I don't know if that was her first album, but the album that got her to be very famous. So we'll put that in the stack. We're going very slow here. I'm going to have to ramp up here. I see I'm at 36 minutes into this video already. Neko Case. I have heard of her, but mostly in association with other people for her singing for. Maybe like the True Blood soundtrack springs to mind. This could be very cool. This is from her 2018 album, Hell On. This, I'm pretty sure, is going to be pretty cool. I would hope it's maybe a little bluesy rocky, but I don't know. That could be a really great album. Here's the Ingrid Michaelson with the... actually, which way does this open? Yeah, okay, so she's upside down, which would tell me upside down. But very clearly, this is 2019. That straight up is the Stranger Things font, Stranger Things logo. I have no clue how that got okayed, unless she had a song on the Stranger Things soundtrack, and like she was using that to like push this, and she got the okay to do that. I have no clue. But this definitely looks like a much more modern album than her other album, which is right here. You know, look at that. Very generic looking, very do-it-yourself. That is a fantastic photo, great lighting, great clothing choice. Looks much more produced, very cool artwork. Ingrid Michaelson. So that's going to go on the interesting, but not necessarily got to listen to it right away. Though the Stranger Things logo and font there really is intriguing to me. Then we have, I don't know what this is. This is Tristan Prettyman, 23rd. This looks like very generic acoustic pop music. 2005. That's going to go in the get to it when I get to it. Philip Phillips. I think that there might be another Philip Phillips album somewhere around here. This is Philip Phillips. This actually looks really cool. I like the artwork. This is from 2018. I'm going to say he's holding a guitar. This could be bluesy. I'm going to put that in the listen to pile. Parachute, Overnight. Don't know anything about Parachute. I feel like I've heard their name. When I first saw this, I thought Paramore, and I was excited because I only have one Paramore album, their most recent one. Though I do think they have something new coming out. This is from 2013. I assume this is rock and roll, like modern rock and roll. That's kind of cool to me, but that's going to go in the listen to it when I get to it. Hinder, very famous for Lips of an Angel when I was in high school. Have no clue what this sounds like. I assume it sounds like Nickelback, basically like they sounded 10 years ago. 2017, that goes in the get to it whenever I get to it. Elise Legro, playing chess. Very cool. Looks kind of electronic-y. A little bit of a 80s vibe to that picture and the style of the hair and the artwork and everything. Actually kind of excited about this. This is 2018. It says Canada on here. Canada does have a lot of good music from Canada. So that goes in the listen to section. Bastille, and I believe this is their... No, this isn't their famous... I have one Bastille album, and it was they had a big song come out. This is their album from 2016. Don't really care about them that much, but hey, it's cool for... Again, this is all 59 cents each. So for 59 cents, I'll take a chance on that when I get around to listening to it. Hoobastank. I am actually a pretty big fan of their first two albums that had those big songs on it. This looks like it's maybe their third album from 2009. Because I know their first song came out maybe 2002, 2003, 2004 when I was in high school. And I believe I have their second album, which is what The Reason was from. But Spinning Out of Control, I believe, was off their first album. This is probably their third album or fourth album, I guess, depending on, I don't know. But, whatever, that's cool. We'll get to that when I get to it. Rise Against. This is a band that I believe started, maybe it was on the Nebraska record label. They're very famous around here. Their song, I know they have that song, wouldn't be this, it would have been when I was in high school, but they have a good song that was like about something on rooftops, something. His voice is okay. It's not really my style of music. A little bit generic-y for me. I vastly prefer music that has like piano and keyboards and things in it, and this is a little bit more like a band performing songs, which I know might sound a little silly, but that goes in the get to it when I get to it pile. This is interesting. Not sure what this is exactly. Drab Majesty, Completely Careless, 2012 through 2015. So I don't know what this is. This Drab Majesty. This kind of, I'm thinking might be electronic. It says rock. Drab Majesty. Completely Careless, 2012 through 2015. That goes in the listen to it pile. Walking on Cars, Everything This Way. Interesting. Like the artwork. This to me screams like Death Cab for Cutie. Something like that. Keyboards, maybe a little Jimmy Eat World. Something like that. And I have nothing to base this off. I've never heard this band. This is their album from 2016 called Everything This Way. That goes on the... yeah, if it's a band I don't know what it is, I'm very curious to hear it. So that goes on the listen to it pile. Okay, so that's our first pile. So let's take the stack that I created that is the get to it when I get to it pile, and let's just put that... Let's put that somewhere else. We'll take the stack that's the really I'm interested in pile, which was like a third of that, so that's not good. And I'm going to put it way over here for now. And this is the interested in it, but I don't have to necessarily listen to it. We'll put that over here. Now we'll move to this stack over here. And we'll start out with Ellie Goulding. This is her third album, or fourth album? This is her third album, I believe. I have all of her albums. This is from 2020. I actually have the deluxe edition of this album. This is called Gold, I believe. The album's just called... Oh, Brightest Blue. Brightest Blue. Really enjoy this album. I have the deluxe edition that comes with the bonus disc, but this is cool. Nice to have a second copy of it. That goes on the... I'll get to it later. I don't care about it that much. Three Doors Down. This is one of the Three Doors Down albums I do not have. Looks like the thing was cut off. The artwork is cut off? That kind of sucks. Oh, no, it's folded over. I see. I can't tell the year, but this is one that I don't have. So I would assume this is from like 2010, maybe 2008, 9. Three Doors Down, very famous, very popular band when I was in high school. And actually, one of the very first CDs I ever bought with my own money was their debut album that had Kryptonite on it. So that goes in. I'll get to it when I get to it. Here's another Bright Eyes album. This is yep, 2002. Wow, this is an older one. This is Saddle Creek Records, exactly. So this is one when they were on Saddle Creek Records from Nebraska, a very famous Nebraska record label. That's actually kind of cool. So I don't know if this is their self-titled or what, but that's kind of cool. But that goes in the get to it when I get to it pile. This is The Cure. It looks like The Cure mixed up. So this is from 1990. Wow, this is an old one. This one might actually be worth something. This is The Cure from 1990, and it looks like it's all remixes of The Cure stuff. Great, but it's a remix disc. I'll get to it when I get to it, but that might be one to look up how much it would be worth. Ben Harper and the Relentless. Ben Harper. Ben Harper sounds familiar. White Lies for Dark Times. Ben Harper. Ben Harper. Cut off on the bottom. I don't like that it... Or folded, maybe. I don't know. I don't like that. 2009, Virgin Records. Ben Harper. I've heard of him. Don't know that much about it. Don't really know what this would sound like at all. I assume kind of generic-y rock music. That goes in the interesting, but not... Don't have to check that out right away. Little Feat. Kicking It at the Barn. Or Kicking It at the Barn, yeah. Little Feat I am aware of. This is from 2003. They were a band, I believe, more in the 90s. So that's kind of interesting. This is a little later one. But I went through a little phase where I was looking them up. And I remember trying to get into them because they were a little bit kind of a bluesy rock band. And it all was just a little bit too generic for me. So that goes in the... I'll check it out when I get to it. Here's U2. This is 2009. I have a bunch of U2's 80s albums and some of their 90s stuff and one of their 2000s albums. The one with Elevation on it from when I was in high school. So whatever. U2, great. I don't care about them that much, but that goes there. I don't know if I meant to buy this one. This one looks very generic. 2004, Diana DeGarmo, Blue Skies. This looks like very generic, possibly like Christian rock or something like that. It's on RCA. This is probably the best album of all the stuff I got. This could be could be country. It says rock. Very generic. That's something that is interesting, but I'll probably never get to it. 12 Stones, Beneath the Scars. 12 Stones, very famous for the singer of 12 Stones being the guy that sings on with Evanescence on Wake Me Up Inside, I Can't Wake Up. That guy, singer from 12 Stones. I believe they're kind of like a Christian rock band, very similar to, like, I don't know, Creed. Maybe not Christian, but Creed, Nickelback at the time, that kind of stuff. I'll get to it when I get to it. Frankie Carter and the Rattlesnakes. Modern Ruin. Oh, yeah. If you're the something something and the something somethings, you're probably sort of like a bluesy rock and roll band. And when you're called Frankie Carter and the Rattlesnakes, don't have any idea about that. Love the artwork. Looks like it's from 2017. That slides right in the gotta listen to pile. Kelly Clarkson here. This is from what year? 2017. Oh, a more modern Kelly Clarkson album. So that's pretty cool. I enjoy Kelly Clarkson, but again, that goes in the same stack her album went to before. Carney. Matt Carney, I believe. Yeah, Matt Carney. He had a very famous song when I was in college. The Come on and we'll see like we were free. Hitching it up. I actually had a friend who was friends with someone who was in his band or helped produce the record, something like that. Kind of generic Christian rock music, but a little bit more of a poppy edge, a little bit of a bluesiness to him. Intriguing, but not something that I'd have to listen to right away. That goes over here. Tom York, Anima. I've heard of Tom York. Interesting artwork. This is... This is just a piece of paper that was printed, so I don't think that this is the actual... Yeah, this is just printed, so that's kind of a bummer. Should have got that one for cheaper. I guess I can consider this one of the free ones I got, but not a fan of Tom York. Don't know that much about him. I assume, yeah, get to it when I get to it. Ex-Ambassadors, VHS, this is their big album, and this must be some sort of a... Oh, I'm actually kind of excited to hear this. I've heard some of their stuff, you know, that was popular. I can't think off the top of my head. Here, Imagine Dragons. This is from 2015. yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be something that I actually enjoy. That's going to go into the list. Well, that'll go in the listen to eventually, because I think I know what that sounds like. Big Head Todd and the Monsters, Crimes of Passion, 2004. Big Head Todd and the Monsters, another 90s band, kind of generic 90s band. I'm in my head, I think grungy. That goes in the listen to it when I get to it. Alicia Keys, her album from 2020. Dang, this is a much more recent one. Sweet. I enjoy Alicia Keys. Sorry, my computer just shut off there. I enjoy Alicia Keys, but that goes in the interesting but not super. Sarah Bareilles. I have her first few albums. She has one of my favorite songs of all time, which is the Can Anybody Hear, or Does Anybody know How to Hold My Heart, How to Hold My Heart, 'cause I don't want to let go, let go, let go too soon. I want to tell you so before my something goes dark. Anyway, great, fantastic. And also, of course, Uncharted, her very famous song. This goes in the, get to it when I get to it. Ooh, I don't remember this one at all. I don't remember that at all. I probably just picked it up and was like, okay, that looks really cool. And so we'll get that. This is Angelo D'Agostino, Swim Inside the Moon. Very cool looking artwork. Don't know the year. That goes in the listen to it pile. Heart, Red Velvet Car. I might actually already own a copy of this. This is from 2010. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tracks. I like Heart, and I think that their most recent albums are really awesome. So, yeah. Their production is fantastic, very much like ZZ Top. They have an album, I can't remember what it's called, but it was my first Heart album I ever bought. It's from 2014 or 15, I think, and it is fantastic. So, but still, that's Heart. That goes over there. Wyclef Jean, or Wyclef Jean. I think it's Wyclef Jean. Carnival, Volume 2, Memoirs of an Immigrant. This is from 2007. Wyclef Jean, very famous. I know him from his It Doesn't Matter song with Dwayne The Rock Johnson from back in the day when The Rock was still with the WWE. That's cool. There's almost no hip-hop or rap albums, and this might actually be the only hip-hop or rap album in this whole set, this whole selection here. So that goes automatically into the interesting, but not necessarily gotta listen to it right away. Another Katie Tunston album. She definitely looks more rock in here. So that's kind of cool. This is from 2018. So now I have, I think, her first 2 albums, which I don't think I've ever even listened to the second one, and then maybe her 2 most recent, or 2 more recent ones. But that's cool. That goes on the listen to it eventually. Richard Thompson, Sweet Warrior. Older dude holding a guitar. So that's got to be blues music. So that's interesting, but I don't know. 2007, that goes over here. Production's probably not the best. Rich Robinson. Like the artwork here. Rich Robinson. It's under rock, but I'm going to say that it probably looks like blues. There's a lot of pictures of the guitars that they were using, so yeah. This could be really good. I like modern blues rock music, like the Black Keys, or I guess not Joe Bonamassa, really. I think he has some cool stuff that's cool, but it's much more stereotypical blues. I like the gritty blues stuff with cool gritty blues production. I'm going to guess this is maybe a little bit more stereotypical, so that goes in the cool, but not have it necessarily. Okay, Stereolithic. Oh, 311. Stereo. Okay, cool. 2014, the 311 album. This is 311. So that's pretty awesome. Stereolithic, 311, the most famous band from Nebraska, unless you count Imagine Dragons, because I believe the singer was born, or at least lived quite a bit of his childhood in Nebraska. But so that's cool. 311's great. I actually never got into them because I don't care for the sort of more like reggae aspects of their music, but I know a lot of their songs and they're very important to Nebraska culture. That goes in the cool, but not necessarily. Okay, here's another Ex-Ambassadors album. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that there was another one here. I don't know what year it's from because there's a sticker over it. So I'm just going to say it's more recent. Oh no, 2019. 2019. Orion, I think it's called. Yeah, Orion. So that's actually really cool. So that one of their more recent albums could be really cool. Did I put that over here? I did. Okay, so that goes over here. Here, look, we have a metal band. You can just tell looking at this, or at least I think it's Love and Death. Between Here and Lost. This is a metal band. Definitely could be Tooth and Nail Records. Probably is something I don't care for that much, but just because they're metal, they go right there. Okay, Corinne Bailey Rae. Corinne Bailey Rae. Looks like African-American singer. I assume pop. Could be a little bit soul. I'm not too sure. It's on Virgin Records. That's kind of cool. 2016. This could be a little bluesy. That goes right here. That's cool. Okay, so there's our second stack. We did that one pretty fast. And we had a lot of stuff go into the I don't really care about it too much stack, but or at least maybe I should say that I'll get to it eventually stack. But I do want to point out that as I'm looking here, there is some cool stuff in here. Just not anything that I feel I would need to necessarily listen to right away. So we're going to put this, where did I put, how did I do that? Where did I, yeah, this went back here. That's the don't care about it too much. This is the I care about it a lot, and that went right over here. Yeah, that went in the listen to it pile. And this is the I care about it, but I don't know, not that much pile. All right. Look at this. We have another metal band, Lacuna Coil. Very familiar with them. Glad I didn't buy this the other day at a place where I was at, Century Meter Records. I have their first 2 albums. They never really stuck out to me as being anything special. You know, they came out with their first album right when Evanescence was like the height of popularity, and to me they never even got close to reaching that level. I didn't think the production on their first album was very good, but I haven't listened to them very much since then. I know they're still very popular, and I think they just released an album last year. So this definitely goes in the listening to it section. Rancid. This is from 2017. Rancid, very famous punk band, of course. Is Rancid the name of the band that sings? I don't know. Not a big fan of punk music, but very cool to have a Rancid album. That goes in the cool, but I don't have to listen to it right away. The Who from 2019. Interesting. Interesting. So is this an actual album of theirs from 2019? Huh. If that's cool, then I would really be interested in listening to this. A modern Who album. I didn't even know they were still making music. That goes into the listen to it. Coldplay, Kaleidoscope EP. I hate Coldplay, but it's kind of cool, and it's an EP. So, you know, there you go. Goes right over here. This is ODP. The Hold Steady. Open Door Policy. Okay. Oh, THS. So the Hold Steady, Open Door Policy. Don't know anything about them, but a band called The Hold Steady sounds like kind of generic emo rock. That goes over here. Vanessa Carlton, baby. Making my way downtown 2020. This is probably a great album. That goes over here. Utada. I believe she is Japanese electronic music. I have several of her albums. I probably already have this album, but I wasn't sure if I did or not, so I included it. Very cool, but I'm already very familiar with her music. Very poppy. I remember this one specifically. This one intrigued me very much. It doesn't look like it fits in here very well. Oh, there we go. Medicine and Birds. Angelica Garcia. Yeah, this just looks cool. It just looks cool. That I don't know what it sounds like. It looks dark, like dark artwork. One of the songs is called Woman, I'm Hollerin'. Magnolia is Medicine, Bridge on Fire, The Devil Can Get In, Red Moon Rising. Yes, this is like bluesy rock music. Yeah, this is one of the ones I'm most excited about. That goes in there. The Vamps. Never heard of them. They look very young. Very pop music-y. Could actually be really cool. This is giving me vibes of the, who was it? I wish that I could be like the cool kids. That band. Also like maybe like Jonas Brothers type of thing. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's heavy. Maybe it's super metal. I don't know. The Vamps. That goes over here. Again, this is my interested in it, but not necessarily going to listen to it in the video. This is definitely listen to it in a video. Very interested in it. And this is I'll get to it when I get to it. The Decemberists. I'm familiar with this band because it is one of my friends, Chris Parker, his favorite bands of all time. And this album in particular I'm very familiar with because it was on his top 12 albums. It might have even been number one of his top 12 albums of 2015. So I'm familiar with this. I think the singer sounds like he has an Irish accent, which is something I don't necessarily care for at all. I don't know if he's Irish or not, but I don't care for that. And so I'm excited to have the album, though. Get to check it out when I get to it. George Ezra, Staying at Tamara's. George Ezra looks very young. Don't know that much about it. Can't tell. Like the album artwork here. The CD artwork looks cool. This could be kind of a bluesy thing, like a Dan Auerbach produced type thing. It says Parental Advisory. It's from the UK, 2018, on Columbia. That goes over here. Can't tell what this is. A Great Big World. Is There Anybody Out There? The band, it looks like it's called A Great Big World. Is There Anybody Out There? Could be generic rock music. Christina Aguilera. Interesting. Yeah, this is just printed, so that's kind of crappy. That's not the actual cover. That goes over here. Mike and the Mechanics. I've heard Mike and the Mechanics, but I can't for the life of me think of what they sound like. Let Me Fly from 2017. That goes over here. Isley, famous band. Familiar with them. I believe they were a little bit more famous in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. This is from a year that I don't know because it's not listed, which is kind of weird. 11 tracks. This is The Valley Smarter, Watch It Die, Sad, Oxygen Mask. This is Equal Vision Records. This is probably something that I could listen to with my mom. She might enjoy this. Love the artwork. Love the artwork. That cool bat there. Sweet. This like very woodsy looking thing. Very cool. Very cool artwork. I've listened to one or two of their albums, and I remember being a little bit disappointed, or at least nothing stuck out to me as being special. I'll get to that when I get to it. Silver Sun Pickups, I'm aware of them. Kind of generic band. Oh, they have a lady in the band. Didn't know that. Maybe I should give them another check out. That goes over here. Coldplay. Already discussed Coldplay. Whatever. Don't care about them. This one. I saw this, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but that's intriguing. It says it's rock. Judah and the Lion. Judah and the Lion. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Very kind of like a high school, obviously gymnasium type of theme here. This could be generic pop stuff from 2019. This could be cool. Could also be very terrible and cringy, but I don't know. Andy Grammer, magazines or novels. Andy Grammer. I'm not sure who it is. This dude looks like someone that was on American Idol or something like that, don't you think? I've never heard of his name, don't know. Get to it when I get to it. Harm's Way, Posthuman. This could be a metal. This is Metal Blade Records. Hell yeah, we got another metal record. It's probably terrible, but kind of neat. Never heard of him before. Don't know that much about him. Don't know anything about him. Really like the artwork. That's very cool. They took the... Wow. It's like a gemstone, but it's like a head, and someone like made artwork out of a gemstone. It looks like a shot through the head. Very cool. David Garrett, that famous violin dude, that can go over here. James Bay, Electric Light. Don't know who James Bay is. Definitely looks like someone who... I don't know. For all I know, this is a dude from another band, and like this is a solo album. I don't know, but could be cool. 14 tracks. It's on Republic Records. That can go over here. Train from 2014. Not sure if I know any of the songs from Cadillac. That sounds kind of familiar. Train, obviously fantastic. Train, very, very cool band. Love the artwork there. In my opinion, Drops of Jupiter, I'm one of those people that thinks Drops of Jupiter may be the greatest song of all time. Maybe best song ever written. For sure, top 10 best songs. Not saying it's in my top 10 favorite songs or anything like that, but I think Drops of Jupiter is just like a perfect song. Very cool. So there's a lot of people listed as being in Train too, which is kind of neat. I assume those are maybe some background singers. So that's kind of awesome. That's cool. That goes over here. Another Alicia Keys album. I'm pretty sure I put the last one over there. Her last album I got was from 2020. This is from 2016. That goes over here. Oh, okay. All right. This is great. We're really zooming through. I know maybe don't feel that way because we're already an hour in, but hey, that's kind of cool. All right, so this is the Don't Care About It stack. And it's not that I don't care about it. It's just that I will get to it when I get to it, and there's no rush. This is the really awesome stack, which over here. Uh-oh, it's gotten so big. I'll have to put it over here. There we go. And this is the interesting, but not... Don't have to listen to it immediately. Okay, so we're down to the last... stack. Okay, En Vogue. From 2004. Didn't know they even were still putting out albums then, but very famous band from, I guess, the early 2000s, 90s for sure. I think I have a couple of their other albums from the 90s. Maybe they were even in the 80s. I don't know. That's kind of interesting, though. I would be curious to see. Hey, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a bug right here. Look at that. You can't... There's no way... Go away. Okay. Sun Volt. I can't read what that says. Okima and the Melody of Riot. Oh, there's this is a dual-sided disc. Heck yeah, this is a dual disc. So the CD one is audio side, CD entire album enhanced stereo plus a documentary. Hey, that's really cool. But Sun Volt, not a huge fan. I think I probably could enjoy their music. That goes over here. This I bought for my nephew because I think we're going to watch this and he'll probably enjoy it. Plus, I kind of enjoyed the movie as well. Soundtrack to Pitch Perfect. This is one I specifically picked out. It seemed like it was in good quality, and yeah, I don't know, kind of cool. I'll just slide that over here. Don't care about that. Okay, this is Belle and Sebastian. I've heard of Belle and Sebastian. It's Fold Your Hands, Child, You Walk Like a Peasant. What an interesting album title. I believe Belle and Sebastian is like acoustic duo, so I assume very acoustic-y pop sort of style music. That I'll get to when I get to it. Here's an Elton John revamp. Elton John covers album of other people covering Elton John songs. Kind of interesting, but I just thought maybe this would be something that would be fun to listen to, have some different versions of some of his songs that I'm assuming that I will all know most of them. I'm not a big Elton John fan, though. There was one other Elton John album there, and it was his T-Bone Burnett produced album that I already own a copy of, and I don't care for it as much, but it's a much more stripped-back Elton John album, because, of course, T-Bone Burnett produced it. But I didn't buy a second copy of that, because the one I got is enough. Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. Look at that. And then they got a alligator on the back. This is good old... And I think he's holding some kind of a cool-looking dobro or guitar. This is definitely blues rock and roll 2013. That goes in the listen to it right away. Civil Twilight, very famous. They had a big song that was... If I'm thinking of the right thing. I might not be thinking of the right band. I might be thinking of Civil... Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Civil Wars. Okay, Civil Twilight. Not sure what they sound like. Could be very generic rock music. Maybe a little bit heavier than rock, but not necessarily metal. So that goes over here. Will Hodge, My American Dream. Kind of a cool cover. It looks like an older dude, kind of. Maybe not older, but an interesting looking guitar. This is probably bluesy. Only 8 songs. I don't know where all these small albums are coming from, but that goes in the listen to it pile. Lumineers, Cleopatra. This is their hugely famous album. I don't know what the song is on it that was very famous, but it's there, whatever. I'll get to it eventually. Silverstein, kind of another metal-ish band, but not super metal in terms of what I think of them. But Silverstein, they might actually be a little bit more of a cooler band now that I'm thinking of it. 2017, that goes over here. Miles Kennedy, Year of the Tiger. Really like this. Looks really cool. Again, another dobro. This is blues rock, I assume. So that goes right here. Pete Yorn and Scarlett Johansson. Apart. No clue what the hell this is. Pete Yorn, 2018. This is like an EP, it looks like. That could be kind of a cool album. Don't know what it is. I don't know if Scarlett Johansson's singing on it. It's probably from a movie. Looks cool. I don't know. That goes over here. Of Mice and Men. This is like a big set. Oh, interesting. It's one of these like fold-out doohickeys. Kind of cool. Of Mice and Men. I've heard of them. Don't know that much about them. I think they're kind of a generic-y, rock band or metal band. The Magic Salute. I look at this and I think that's a rock and roll band, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm curious to see what it sounds like. High Water 1. Yeah, that looks cool. Look, Erasure. Other People's Songs. This is Erasure doing Other People's Songs from 2003. Very cool. Get to it when I get to it. I have a lot of Erasure albums from 2000 or from the 80s over there. Bon Iver or Bon Iver, Ivor, I believe it is. He did the music for Dark, I believe, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I'm familiar with some of his work, and I think this is even maybe an album of his I've heard, but not. Jaguar. Interesting. 2008. Okay. Well, anyway, that goes in the get to it when I listen to it eventually. That goes over here. That might be something that's kind of interesting to listen to. Very chill, I assume, very atmospheric, acoustic, maybe a little bit of, different atmospheric ambient type stuff with vocals. Alicia Keys. Is Alicia Keys? Yeah, Alicia Keys, Girl on Fire. So heck yeah, I got lots of Alicia Keys. The Chainsmokers. This, I definitely know one of their songs, but I can't pinpoint it. I don't know if it would be off this album, but the Chainsmokers goes on here. I believe that's something that I would enjoy. Actually, that goes over here. Because I kind of, whoops, I hit something with my foot. Was it the camera? Was it, I don't know what it was. Beth Hart Band. Beth Hart. Now, I've heard of Beth Hart, but I can't pin, 1996. The Beth Hart Band. I've heard of Beth Hart, but I don't know why. I don't know. Okay, this is Metropolis Records? What the heck? Gang of Four, What Happens Next from Metropolis Records. Hell yeah! A Metropolis Records album. Metropolis Records is an awesome Canadian, I think they're Canadian. Maybe they're not. They might be from the U.S., but they are an awesome electronic industrial record label. So this, right away, that goes right here. That's exciting. Milos, Blackbird, the Beatles album. Okay, I don't know who Mios or Milos is, and I don't care for the Beatles, but, that is what it is. Kind of cool. Get to that when I get to it. Here's a Phillips. This is what I was showing earlier. Phillips got the guitars, got the whatever. I'll get to it eventually. I don't remember if I put his over here or not. Banks. This always frustrates me because when I look up Banks, which is Paul Banks, the name of the singer from Interpol, his side project, his solo stuff is just known as Banks, or at least some of his side projects are called Banks. One of them is called something totally different. But whenever I look up his stuff, this is what comes up, this lady. Now, I do think this is modern, just 2014, modern minimalistic pop music that's sort of along the vein of like Lord, maybe sort of like Sia. Something like that. So that goes over here. This is another U2 album. Actually, this might even be the same U2. No, it's not. This is from 2017. Is this the one that they automatically put on everybody's phone? Or something like that through iTunes? I can't remember, but there's that. And the last thing we have here, Walk the Moon, What If Nothing. Don't know anything about this. Looks like it could be kind of a cool pop rock band. So that goes in this stack. Meaning that the interesting stack is over here. This goes back here. And these go over here. So we kind of basically split it into pretty even thirds, I would say. But we have, let's see if I can count them real quick. 35 albums in the interesting, excited to listen to it, but don't have to listen to it immediately stacks. Put that over here. This is a much smaller stack. I don't know how many are in here, though. This is the listen to it right away, possibly in the next video. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Shoot. I think I may have put some stuff where it don't belong, but oh well. Well, we'll just go with it. 25 albums in the 25 albums in the listen to it stack. And then we got, so 35 and 25 is 60, right? So there should be 40 records in here, but that there's definitely not, right? Maybe I way undercounted. 4 and 45. So that would put us at 105, wouldn't it? Oh, pretty sure that my math was correct there. Like 70% sure, which is pretty sure for me. But yeah, so, okay, all right, well. So we have 45 albums that I thought were interesting, but not interesting enough that I need to listen to, though there are some things I'm excited to listen to in here. We have these albums over here. I can't remember how many there was. 35, I think, that were exciting to me, but not something that I need to listen to immediately. And then this stack over here, which was 25, I believe, of listen to them possibly in the next video. So there we go. We're an hour and 15 minutes into this. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was interesting to you. I'm not sure if it was at all interesting. I know I had fun doing it, going through, organizing, categorizing kind of everything in my mind, seeing it all. Now I have like a bit of a catalog in my head of what to do. One other thing that I did want to do with this collection, and maybe I'll do this in between now and the next video, but I have a Discogs account, but I haven't added any of my albums to Discogs. So I was going to maybe go through and add each of these albums to my Discog library and then see how much they would be all worth total based on the sales that they have of these albums on their website to see if I did get a pretty good deal for $59. So I'm not sure if I'll do that exactly or not, but we'll see. That might take more time than it'd be worth before I want to film the next video, which was going to be later today. But anyway, I could end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, stay tuned to the channel for other reaction and things coming up. I am very excited to say that one of the things I have planned is that I'm going to have a friend of mine who is a big Metallica fan, at least when he was younger, though he has stayed with them their whole career. But I have a friend of mine who's a big Metallica fan, and I am going to listen to, on my channel here, react to the entire album for the very first time, to Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and I think it's called And Justice for All. Maybe, I can't remember. I get that one and Kill 'Em All mixed up. I'm not sure which one's their fourth album as opposed to their first one. But anyway, I don't know any Metallica other than Black Album, and then the few singles they had on the radio when I was like in high school. So like King Nothing and I Disappear, I think, the Mission Impossible one. So like that's all the Metallica pretty much that I know. So being a metal fan like I am, I'm extremely excited to have saved my entire life basically not ever listening to the early Metallica stuff so that I can do it on my channel. So on my channel coming up, I will be doing reactions to Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and I think it was And Justice for All, the one I believe where Jason Newsted played bass on it or something for the first time, and something with the bass, I'm not sure. But I've never heard those albums, and so if you're a fan of Metallica, definitely stay tuned to my channel for that. And like I said, I've also got In Flames, Arc's album, Depeche Mode later in the year, Metallica, and one coming out later this year. All sorts of really cool stuff that I'm excited for. So this being my first video of the year that I'm at least filming in the year, I'm very excited for everything coming up at the end at this year. And then, of course, at the end of the year, my top 12 albums of 2023. We've got a whole awesome year of music, hopefully really awesome, great music to get through before then. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video where I go through and listen to some of the CDs in this stack. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you very much, and I will see you then.